Welcome to my channel, and today I'd like to talk about cleansing your space, clearing your space from negative energies, and basically any kind of energy that may have been lingering there, whether it's in a new home that you are moving into, or perhaps it's your current home and you feel like it needs some energy clearing. So how exactly do we do this? Bear in mind that when you do these rituals, you first need to start by grounding yourself and making sure that you yourself are feeling good at the moment, that you're not in a bad place, because before you even sage your space, you'll need to ground yourself first and make sure that you are mentally, spiritually, physically able to do so. If you do not do these things, then you won't be able to have enough strength or enough energy to be able to sage your space, whether it's on a physical level or perhaps on a spiritual level. So make sure you find a time that you are grounded enough, and find a time that you are in a good place. If you're not in a good place and you don't feel that you're grounded enough, some of the things that you can do would be to be in nature. Just, take a walk. If you live somewhere where there's a park, go take a walk very early in the morning so that you don't see a lot of people, and it's the time before the hustle and bustle of commuters. So make sure that you get some space for yourself. If you cannot go outside early in the morning, you can also just sit quietly in your room and just meditate, relax, and think positive thoughts. Think positive thoughts. Think of things that you would like to achieve, things that are going great in your life, and all of the blessings that you have been bestowed to date, and all of the things that you can also do to bless others with good intentions. So good intentions towards yourself and to others. So make yourself, have this energy of love and energy of giving, and of really just being happy for those around you. Remove any thoughts of malice, any thoughts of ill intentions, any thoughts of envy, jealousy, all these things. Just kind of clear your own spirituality to begin with. And then you can start with saging or clearing your space of any bad energy and just cleaning the air and the energy in your space so that you can fill it with the positive energy. And this is where our prayer comes in. The reason we would use incense is because it continuously burns, and so you have smoke that you can use then to sort of clear your space. And of course this includes intention, which is similar to any religion's prayer. For example, your intention of what it is that you would like to do with this sort of ritual. So any space clearing is really just similar to when priests go to somebody's home and bless their home, and the priest walks around with some holy water. Sometimes they also bring those things with the incense, and they kind of just dangle it about in different areas of your home. This is also done during Mass for certain religions, and I'm pretty sure that it's also practiced in many other religions across the globe. This of course even roots from the time of tribal people in South America, and perhaps even in the Philippines, or where you're at right now in your part of the world. I'm pretty sure that there were some very ancient rituals that your ancestors were also practicing to be able to bless their surroundings and clear the energy. So let's start. When you have your incense, which is what you can use, you simply light it, make sure that it is lit and there is smoke coming out of it consistently. So you go to the front of your door, this is the main door, and you start a prayer, and then you walk in a clockwise direction as you continuously say this prayer. You can say it out loud, or you can say it in your head silently. Just continue the prayer in a loop. Just keep saying that prayer and walk around your home or the space in a clockwise direction. So if you encounter a cabinet, open the cabinet doors and make sure that you get the incense smoke in there as well. If there is a bathroom, you open the bathroom door and walk in a clockwise direction in that room as well. So you keep doing this as you complete the rotation of your entire space. This can also be done on the outside of your premises. If your house has a lawn or has a garden, you may also do this as well. But it's best to start from the inside of the house. So starting from the main door, walk in a clockwise direction. And then as you do so, you say this prayer while you are making sure that you smudge the space with the incense. So this is basically space clearing. Other items that you can use to clear your space is, if you don't have incense, or perhaps you might have some sage or some dried herbs, but for dried herbs, white sage is the best. If you cannot find some white sage, there are some incense that is white sage, so you can search for that as well. I find it easier to work with incense because the smoke doesn't become so overwhelming. Sometimes with white sage, which is a very, very good way of clearing a space. If you live in a small condominium unit, for example, it might get a little bit overwhelming because you really will smoke up your space. So if you don't want too much of the smoke, but you just want that consistent smoke to be emitted into the surrounding as you clear the space, then incense would work as well. So basically what you're doing is you're doing this motion. It's kind of like, imagine scrubbing the table or wiping walls. So you're wiping the energy in the air with the smoke, whether that be with like a bundled dried leaves or with incense. So you smoke the space. But of course this comes with intention. So I'll have that intention in the video in just a bit. In the meantime, if you like content like this, please give this video a thumbs up. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, I'll tackle that in a future video. Just comment down below. Please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content like this. And of course, ring that bell sign so you don't miss a video the next time I upload something similar to this. So let's get back to it. We have the space clearing, and what you can do to kind of further this is to actually walk around a second time with a singing bowl. This is what I do personally. I sage my space, I walk around in a clockwise direction and basically scrub the air in every single nook and cranny and corner of every single room, even inside drawers and under the bed, under the couch, all of these areas that may have stagnant energy. So I scrub those sections and making sure that there's smoke coming through to them to basically clear the space. And then the second time around, I walk around in a clockwise direction once again. This time I have my singing bowl with me, and I basically just let that singing bowl sing while I repeat the intention in my mind. Remember, these rituals are meant to protect you, and it is meant to bring you joy if that is what you would like to have, some peace, but it is never meant to do the opposite, and definitely not to cause harm unto anybody. You can change it a little bit so that it is more specific to the intention that you would really like. If you are, for example, single and you have been in bad relationships, what you can do is to simply change, instead of consecrating the space with peace, love, joy, good fortune, you can change that to, if this is what your intention is, if what you feel your space need is I consecrate this place that nothing but true love shall enter my space. If you do this, and you do this with good intentions, and you do it regularly, you may find that as you go on in your day-to-day activity, you may find that the partners or potential partners that would use to, communicate with you and may visit your place is no longer able to do so for some reason. Or maybe you schedule a date in your home for dinner and somehow they just can't make it, or there is an emergency that you are in need of canceling that appointment with this person. If this is a trend that you're seeing, that means that your space clearing for finding true love that is right for you, that will make you happy, is working, because it means that it is actually repelling anybody who might cause you a broken heart again in the future. So these things are very powerful, and I think we all are aware that the human mind is so powerful that whatever we want it to do, it makes our body believe it can do. And so we are able to achieve many more things in life. So always start with positivity, with love, and be at peace, and you will be able to clear your space. How often are we supposed to be clearing our space? Definitely when you move into a new home, a new office, space clearing is very important, just so that you have this peace of mind that you have cleansed any energy that may be remaining from the previous tenants or the people who used to work in that environment. Whether it's a home or an office, an office is even worse, because that's usually where a lot of stressful situations occur, and so it may be harboring a lot of stress energies or fear energies. In homes, if it was occupied by another person or a family, sometimes it may have lingering energies from the previous tenants, based on the kind of life that they had. If they were going through something in their life, if they're going through some hardships, if it was a person who was living there on their own, perhaps they were going through depression and whatnot, and you wouldn't want to then inherit these same energies that they had. So just basically clear the space, and it gives us that peace of mind that we're good to go to continue living in that space with the energy cleared. So with how regular we are to be clearing the space, let me ask you a question. How often do you bathe? If you say you bathe 3 times a week, once a week, I'm pretty sure you don't bathe once a month. But basically, this is kind of like taking baths. It would all depend on the person. If some people like to take baths every day or twice a day, and that makes them feel clean, then that's how it is for them. So you might be the type of person who feels you only really need to clear your space once a week, or maybe once a month. Then trust your intuition, trust your gut feeling with how often you need to clear your space. And one indication of this is if you start feeling like you are on edge, you're feeling stressed out, probably it's time to clear the space. If you live as a family in a home, when the kids are always crying or hurting themselves on accident, and you or your partner are starting to fight often, probably it's about time to clear this space, because it means that there is negative energy being harbored in your space. The reason this happens is because negative energies remain or are attracted to negative thoughts, negative actions. So it's kind of like a cycle. The more negative we are, the more negative intentions we have, the more negativity that is around us, the more that we magnetize negative energy. Hence, also, if there are negative energies around us, we are also, unfortunately, sometimes we act as a conduit to actually absorb those negative energies. This is why sometimes when you talk to somebody who's a very negative person, like they always have something to complain about, they're always angry at someone, they're always talking bad about somebody behind their back. Sometimes when you're around this person, you kind of end up perhaps joining in on the conversation and saying bad things about other people, or also sharing your negative thoughts about things, basically whining together. What happens is you then kind of create like a ball of energy that both of you can bring home with you, and then that's then getting everybody else in your space affected by it, because you're taking it home with you. It's like bringing home a pile of dirt and you put it in your home. Obviously, even if you were the only one who brought it home, everybody else now has to live with that pile of dirt. So think of that as tangible dirt, tangible things, tangible waste we don't want in our living space. If you think of it that way, then you'll understand how often it would be to clear your space, depending on what kind of negativity you're surrounded with. If you're surrounded with more positivity, if you live in a very positive community, if you live in nature, it might be less that you would need to clear your space. But if you are often coming into work and everybody's usually stressed out, everybody is has their problems, and they're kind of just talking to you as a coworker or as a friend, unleashing their problems on you, then there might be a tendency that you absorb these without your intention to do so. Without intentionally doing so, we may bring it home to our clean space. So we need to clear our space, our energies, with positive thoughts, with good energy, so that we continuously live happy lives. So that is how frequent that you may need to do so. Just remember some of the things that you may need to remember to clear your space is if there are fights that occur in the home, if you have been always disciplining your kids and they've been crying a lot, make sure that you clear your space immediately after something like that happens. If you also have a party and you have a lot of people coming into your space, that's a lot of energy. You don't know exactly what kind of energies they might be bringing to your party. Although parties are great for bringing in a lot of positive energy, there might also be some negative energy, because you never know who's going through something hard in their life, and there might be a tendency to kind of unintentionally leaving some of that negative energy or negative emotion behind in your home. So after you've had a party or you've had visitors over, go and cleanse your space and just do the same thing that we talked about in the beginning of this video. So I hope that this video helps. If you do like it, once again, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.